Hello people, this is Mark from Caris Changeworks. Hope that you are well. Guys, I want to talk about something that is really important. I mentioned in a video that may still come up yet. I don't know, but it's already been made. It's going to come up. I'm sure I'm going to put it up maybe tomorrow or so. I don't know. And I want to address an issue where I've been having a conversation with a friend of mine, someone whose personality and being I really appreciate and I'm incredibly fond of. Okay, dear friend of mine, we've been having words regarding a particular issue, and it just drew me to the place where the power of words is so important for us to understand. Now, I might go into like a sermon preacher mode, and if I do, it is what it is. One of my favorite sayings lately, it is what it is. But I really want to draw your attention to what I have to say, because if you sit and think about it, words is like a bullet. Once you say them, you can't go get the words back. You can't suck them back into your mind and wish that they never got processed and finally get splurted out of your mouth. Likewise, a bullet, you can't go get the round and get the gunpowder and kind of press it together and put the lead back in and then put it back in the chamber. It doesn't quite work like that. So once you say something, it's out there. And I really want to draw your attention to the damage that words can bring when you use them willy-nilly. When you say things in order to destroy or hurt or bring about some kind of trouble, that's okay. You can do that all day long if you wish. However, I believe wholeheartedly that everything that you say, everything that you do, the converse of that is sometimes the things that you don't say and the things that you don't do, they are all seed as far as I am concerned. Consider this. In the time where you are supposed to say something and you don't, for argument's sake, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, I didn't understand what I was saying at the time. Those kind of things. These are just a handful. Man, the world is full of these examples. No doubt you can think of a million more. The point I'm making here is when we don't say these things, the things that we should say, it is like a seed that's being planted in the ears and in the spirit of the person who's supposed to have heard that. But when you don't say the stuff that you need to say, so it's whether you say the things that you shouldn't have said, and when you don't say the stuff that you should have said, those things are like seeds. You plant them into what I would refer to as incredibly fertile ground. The soil is rich in nourishment in the hearer's spirit and mind, the aura in which they operate from, that bubble, so to speak, if I have to use a 2020 word towards the end of the year. Right. Very fertile. You plant anything in there and it's going to grow. The reason why is because it is rich in nutrients. Those seeds are in there and they're going to germinate and they're going to grow, and eventually there's going to be a thing called a harvest. Now, some people will say to you, yes, it's karma. Yes, what goes around comes around. Yes, absolutely right. Now, the thing here is sometimes you get good karma. You get the rewards for what you've done or the rewards from what you did not do, because you said or you didn't say or you did or did not do, whichever way the equation might work, at the appropriate time and in the appropriate manner, you get a positive outcome, a positive reward, because you were congruent in the way that you've handled that particular situation. Likewise, the inverse of that is, as soon as you say those nasty, damaging, critical, sarcastic, patronizing, ill-aimed words at the hearer, so you say it, but you shouldn't have. And what you shouldn't have said, you did. You understand what I'm saying? You too will get a reward. But this time it might not be in the way that you would like. Because you see, I believe that the universe hears everything and God hears everything. And He will reward you accordingly. Not to what you've said, but the reasons why you've said it. So what I'm saying here is, when you speak to people, you really, really need to be careful of what you say and how you say it. Likewise, you need to be very wise in what you don't say and the reasons why you won't say it. The rewards are always there. And it doesn't really matter what you do, there's always a reward, because those seeds will always germinate. There will always be a reward. There will always be a harvest. So what I'm saying to you here, my friend, is simply this. Be wise. Get your facts straight. Consider, if I say that, is it the truth? Can it be verified? What will it do for them? What will it do for me? And if those questions are answered in a positive way, yes, it will do good for them, for me, and it is the truth. Say it. When one of those are negative, meaning it will do them good but me not so, think clearly, because just like a bullet, once it's been shot, it cannot be repaired again. You've got to get a new bullet. Once those words leave your mouth, you can't suck them back in. They are planted in the soil of the universe. So all I'm asking you to do, when you deal with people, you don't know what's going on in their lives. They might be fighting a battle far worse than yours. Just because they may not necessarily say what that battle is, doesn't necessarily mean that they are struggling with said battle. Just because someone is smiling and appears to be chirpy and okay, doesn't mean that that is their efforts to stay strong and try and show the world that they are trying to cope. We don't know what goes on the inside of people's minds and on the inside of people's hearts. Therefore, always be kind. Always operate from a place of compassion. Always do things from a position of love, not to gain love. When you operate with these filters in your mind, and particularly in your mouth, you will end up doing more good than harm. Because the universe does not forget. God certainly does not forget. So when we say things, consider what is going to be the harvest. You might not necessarily get it today or tomorrow. You might not even get it next year. Your reward may come in 5, 10, 15, 20 years' time. And my observation of people is simply this. When there's a negative harvest in people's lives, they are quite dumbfounded and they can't quite understand where this has come from. And I see it. Where did that come from? What have I done? And people's minds only go back maybe 6 months. But the universe might have hung on to this particular thing for 20 years. And when you least expect it, this thing comes and sits on your plate and you have to do something with it. Because now, what are you going to do? Well, if you were to go back in this particular example 20 years ago and you change your attitude and your motivation and your intent on how you dealt with that particular person or that particular situation, chances are the universe would have rewarded you more kindly. But then it's too late. And then when the universe comes and teaches you your lesson, we're bewildered by where did this come from. So here's my advice, my friend. Be kind. Work with people with grace and compassion. And whatever you do, whether you do or don't do those things or say or don't say those things, do it from a position of love, not for love. Then the universe will look at you with a smile of approval because it knows you're going to get a reward for it, because of it, in spite of yourself. That's all I want to say. Be careful what you say and how you go about saying it. Be wise when you don't say or don't do those other things that might lead to severe harm. That's it. From love, not for love. I hope this video has challenged you, made you think a little bit. Maybe scratch your spiritual ear out here a little bit. Your conscious, your attitude, your motivation, your intent in terms of how you deal with those people around about you in your social circles or your circles of influence. If it has, please put it in the comment box for Laura and myself to read, so we can support you in the event that you might need that. Please share and subscribe. Tell all your friends to share and subscribe. But for now, this is Mark from Kairos Changeworks, and I'll speak to you soon.